Have you ever reached the end of the month and thought, where the heck did all my money go? You're working, you're earning, but somehow you're still broke, and it's frustrating, right? Most people were never taught how to actually manage money. School skipped that part, and now we're just out here winging it. That's why so many of us keep living paycheck to paycheck, even when we're making decent money. But here's the thing, it's not really your fault. No one showed you the simple system that could actually fix this. It's called the 50-30-20 budget rule, and it's not boring finance stuff. It's a money game plan that actually works. And once you understand how it works, you'll start seeing where your money should go and why you always feel broke. So stay with me, because once you get this rule down, your whole financial situation can start flipping fast. Before we dive deeper, hit that subscribe button quickly, because one of these tips might just blow your mind or fix that money mess you've been stressing about. Let's get started. 8 simple things about the 50-30-20 budget rule that will totally change your life. Number 1. School taught you algebra, not how to divide your paycheck. You ever realize how school drilled algebra into our heads, like solving for x and figuring out the angles of a triangle, but never once taught us to handle a paycheck so we don't end up broke before the end of the month? Like, you get your money at the end of the month, and then what? No one taught us how to break it down where it should go, or how to stop running out before the next payday. That's why a lot of people feel stuck. Not because they're lazy or irresponsible, but because they were never shown how to manage money in a way that actually makes sense. That's where the 50-30-20 budget comes in. It's actually super simple and can totally change how you look at your money. Imagine you just got paid $1,000. Instead of spending it all and wondering where it went, the 50-30-20 rule gives you a plan. You use 50% of your income on needs. Then 30% goes to wants. And the last 20% is for savings and investments. That's it. No complicated math. No spreadsheet drama. It's like giving your money a job, so it stops disappearing on you. Most people stay broke not because they don't earn enough, but because no one ever showed them how to manage what they earn. That's why this 50-30-20 budget rule is such a game changer, especially if you're just starting out. It's not about being strict or boring with your money. It's about having control and clarity. Once you start following this rule, you'll feel way more in charge of your finances, and honestly, it's addictive watching your savings grow. You'll wonder why no one taught you this sooner, because it's the kind of thing that actually makes life easier. Number 2. Here's the 50-30-20 budget rule. Very easy to understand. The 50-30-20 rule is probably the simplest way to manage your money without needing a finance degree or a boring spreadsheet. If you've ever been confused about where your money should go every month, this rule breaks it down in a way that just makes sense. It's not some complicated budgeting system. It's just a smarter way to split your paycheck so you don't end up broke before the month ends. Think of it like giving your money a map instead of letting it wander off. So how does it work? You take your total income, like your monthly salary after tax, and split it into 3 parts. Half of it, which is 50%, goes to your needs, rent, bills, groceries, stuff you literally can't skip. Then 30% is for your wants, eating out, new shoes, Netflix, fun stuff. And the last 20% is for saving and investing. That's the power of the 50-30-20 rule. It gives your money purpose, instead of letting it disappear on random stuff. If you're just starting out, try this. Grab a calculator or use your phone, take your last paycheck, and apply the percentages. See where your money is actually going and compare it to what the rule suggests. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for saving and investment. You'll probably be surprised how off track it's been. Once you try this even for 1 month, you'll feel way more in control, and honestly, it's kind of addictive in the best way. Number 3. The biggest mistake everyone makes. Mislabeling their expenses. Let's talk about one of the sneakiest money mistakes almost everyone makes. Mislabeling their expenses. It's super common, and it's probably the main reason why your budget feels tight, even when it shouldn't. Like, you tell yourself that daily coffee is a need because it keeps you functioning, or that your gym membership is essential for mental health. I get it. We all justify our spending like that. But the truth is, if we start calling our wants as needs, we mess up the balance of the 50-30-20 budget rule. And that's how we quietly overspend without even realizing it. Here's what you gotta do. Get really honest with yourself when you list your expenses. Needs are things like rent, utilities, groceries, and basic transportation. Stuff that if you didn't pay for them, your life would be seriously impacted. Everything else, that's probably a want, even if it feels essential in the moment. Streaming services, takeout, weekend shopping, those go in the wants category, not needs. Once you separate the two clearly, you'll see how your 50% for needs might be overloaded with things that don't actually belong there. To start, grab your bank statement or your budgeting app and just look at what you spent last month. Highlight everything and ask yourself, do I need this to survive, or is this something I want because it makes life more fun or comfortable? Don't judge yourself. This isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. Move things around if they're in the wrong category. You might be shocked how much of your needs are really wants in disguise. Once you clean that up, your money will stretch way further, and suddenly you're not broke anymore, but you're in control. Number 4. How the 50-30-20 rule budget makes people become rich. Alright, so here's the truth that nobody tells you. Becoming rich isn't about winning the lottery or getting some magical high-paying job. It's about what you do with the money you already have. That's where the budget rule, the 50-30-20 rule, comes in. It gives your money structure, direction, and a clear purpose. Instead of your cash just vanishing every month, this rule helps you grow it over time without making you feel restricted. It's like giving your money a job that works for you, not the other way around. Let's break it down. When you follow the budget rule, you're not just randomly spending. You're putting 20% of your income straight into savings or investment. And that's the part that makes people rich. That 20% builds up month after month and eventually turns into an investment account or the seed money to start a business. Most people never save consistently, which is why they stay broke even if they earn more. But if you stick with this, you're quietly stacking money while others are just spinning their wheels. The cool part is you don't even need to be super strict or rich to start. You just need to start. Next payday, look at your take-home pay and automatically divide it using the rule. Half for your needs, a bit for your wants, and the rest for your future. You can even automate it with bank transfers so you don't have to think about it. Over time, that habit builds wealth on autopilot. That's how this simple budget rule turns regular people into rich people. Not overnight, but for real. Number 5. Add an emergency fund in the 20% section. So let's talk about something super important that most people don't think about until it's too late. Emergencies. I'm talking about your car suddenly breaking down, a trip to the emergency room, or even losing your job. That's why the 50-30-20 savings rule is so powerful. It doesn't just help you manage your money day to day, it also gets you ready for life surprises. That 20% section isn't just about savings and investment. It's your chance to build an emergency fund. Basically, it's your financial safety net, so you don't freak out or go into debt when life hits you out of nowhere. Think of your emergency fund as your personal backup plan. You don't need to save thousands of dollars overnight. You just need to start. Begin by setting aside a small chunk of that 20%, even if it's just $50 this month. Over time, that money builds up without you even realizing it. And when something unexpected happens, you'll be so glad it's there. Instead of swiping your credit card or borrowing from someone, you'll be able to handle it calmly, and that's a huge win. So next time you get your paycheck, look at that 20% and treat it like your future lifeline. Split it if you want. Part can go toward investment and part into an emergency fund. You can even open a separate savings account and name it emergency only to stop yourself from touching it. This one habit can seriously change your life and your stress levels. The 50-30-20 savings rule works best when you make that emergency fund a priority, because peace of mind is priceless. Number 6. What if you're in debt? Swap the 20% rule. Let's be real. If you're in debt, following the 50-30-20 budget rule can feel almost impossible at first. Like, how are you supposed to save money when you've got bills, credit cards, or loans breathing down your neck? The good news is, this rule isn't set in stone. You can actually tweak that 20% part so it works for your current situation. Instead of using that chunk for savings right away, you focus it fully on paying off your debt first. Trust me, knocking out debt faster will give you way more freedom in the long run. So here's how it works. You still break your paycheck into 50% for needs and 30% for wants, just like normal. But that last 20%, that 20% becomes your debt killer zone. Use it to aggressively pay down the highest interest debts you've got, like credit cards. The faster you get those out of the way, the less you'll lose to interest every month. And once your debt is under control, then you can shift that 20% towards savings, building that emergency fund, or even investing. It's all about using the 50-30-20 budget rule to build a stronger foundation, starting with what's dragging you down. To start, list out all your debts and how much you owe each month. Then set that 20% aside immediately after you get paid and send it directly toward those payments. Don't wait until the end of the month. You'll feel the difference really quickly, because you'll see your balances actually going down. And once you're out of debt, that same habit can easily flip into saving mode. The key is to stay consistent. With the 50-30-20 budget rule, even people in debt can take back control, one paycheck at a time. Number 7. What if your income is low? Try 60-20-20 rule or 70-15-15 rule. Okay, let's be honest. When your income is low, even the 50-30-20 budget rule can feel like a stretch. You look at your paycheck and think, how can I possibly save anything when just surviving takes up all my money? Totally get it. But here's the thing. The rule isn't one size fits all. If the classic 50-30-20 split doesn't work for your situation, you can absolutely adjust it. The goal is still to manage your money smartly, even if the percentages look a little different. So instead of trying to force the 50-30-20 setup, you can try something like 60-20-20 or even 70-15-15. That means you let more of your income go toward your basic needs like rent, groceries, transportation, because those are non-negotiable. The remaining portion can still be split between wants and savings or debt payoff, just in smaller chunks. You're still forming the habit, which is the most important part. The habit of being intentional with your money, instead of just hoping it stretches far enough, is what sets you up for success later. This way, you're not feeling guilty for not saving enough. You're still making progress at your pace. To get started, sit down with your real numbers, no guessing. See how much of your income has to go toward survival. Then adjust your percentages around that. It might not look perfect, but it will feel a lot more realistic and doable. Over time, as your income grows, you can slowly shift back toward the classic 50-30-20 budget rule if you want to. But for now, just knowing that you are the one telling your money where to go, even if it's just a little bit, is a powerful place to be. You're building the skill and mindset, and that's what really leads to long-term change. Number 8. The 30-day challenge that could change your life. So if you've ever felt like your money just disappears every month and you have no clue where it's going, the 30-day challenge is something you have to try. It's a super simple but powerful experiment that can totally change the way you handle money. The idea is to track every single cent you spend for 30 days. Yep, everything. You don't even need a fancy app. Just use the notes on your phone or a piece of paper. This challenge makes you painfully aware of your spending habits, especially on stuff you didn't think added up. And once you see the pattern, it becomes way easier to use something like the 50-30-20 budget rule to stay in control. Here's the real magic. After a week or two, you'll notice where your money leaks. Random snacks, impulse shopping, or streaming subscription. Those tiny expenses are the silent killers of your budget. By the end of the month, you'll know exactly how much you're spending on needs, wants, and how much is left for saving or paying off debt. That's when the 50-30-20 budget rule finally starts to make sense in your real life. You can match your actual numbers to the rule and adjust where needed. This step gives you power, because now your money isn't a mystery anymore. To start, set a reminder on your phone to log everything daily. No excuses. Keep it casual, like lunch $5, grab $2 coffee, or paid rent. Do it every day for 30 days, then go back and group the spending into the 50 needs, 30 wants, and 20 savings or debt categories. You'll be shocked how much goes into wants without even realizing it. From there, you'll know what to cut, what to keep, and how to shift things around to actually build wealth. It's like turning on a light in a room you've been stumbling around in. Once you see clearly, it's hard to go back. So, yeah, those are 8 simple things about the 50-30-20 budget rule that will totally change your life. If you've been wondering where your money's going every month, maybe it's time to stop guessing and start using the 50-30-20 budget rule. Give it a shot and see how much more in control you feel. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts or questions, and share this with anyone who needs it. And if you want more tips that actually make a difference, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Let's get smarter with money together. See ya!